You know, the Supreme Court of the United States is the highest court in the land. So many monumental landmark decisions were made by your 9 justices. This Chief Justice and his associate clerks all lean on a level of conservative to liberal. One of them is a moderate. Let's break it down. Chief Justice John Roberts, he's a conservative. Samuel Alito, conservative. Anton Scalia, conservative. Clarence Thomas, conservative. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, liberal. John Paul Stevens, liberal. David Souter, liberal. And of course, Stephen Breyer, liberal. Now, the middle ground, Anthony Kennedy. He is the one that's going to break the vote. Seeing that he's a political moderate, he has been the center of many of the most controversial decisions I've heard so far. One that I applaud is the right to bear arms. The DC law that bans handguns is now thrown out. Gun owners are allowed to own guns for their protection, and I applaud that. I am a strong supporter of gun rights. The thing is, Americans uphold the Second Amendment to bear arms for protection. You are entitled to protect your property, your life, and your family. If they were to take that away, then what kind of freedom do you have? There are some issues that I do side with some of those conservative justices, like the fact of what's going on down in Gitmo. Terrorists deserve equal protection, but they don't deserve American rights when it comes to due process. See, we go back to what the Constitution says, that we are protected under the laws of the land. There is no sense in practicing law to people who want to destroy America. The thing is that the Supreme Court and these 5-4 decisions rest on the shoulders of 4 conservatives and 4 liberals and 1 in the middle, which is Anthony Kennedy. American voters have no choice when it comes to who they elect as president. Whoever becomes president, whether it's Senator John McCain or Senator Barack Obama, if one of the justices die, who are they going to put in to balance the vote? There has been so many controversial issues that have been taken up to the court, and most of the time they're struck down. Take, for example, the rape of a child. I really strongly condone men who rape children, and I believe it's a punishable offense with life in prison, or as in to the case of Jessica Lunsford, 25 at minimum. Still, death sentences are determined only by what kind of crime you commit. You commit murder, do you commit treason, or espionage? Espionage is probably one of the most controversial ones because there's 2 sides to the story. Either you're spying for us or you're spying against us. The whole thing with the Supreme Court, which you see on the left of your column, you're going to see that the Supreme Court has made these decisions on a partisan level. It's too partisan in the Supreme Court. We cannot agree to disagree. And I hope that as an American, my voice and my law should not be interpreted by either liberal or conservative justices. We need to practice the rule of law in a nonpartisan way. President Bush is disappointed in the fact that the justices on the liberal side had gave habeas corpus, which is a given right to some of those detainees down in Gitmo. And he applauded the rights to gun owners, as well the rights to those who are pandering to, let's say, for example, child pornography, those who think that it's fair that they can distribute it, which I strongly disagree. But seeing the Supreme Court has told you that basically it's a freedom of protection, but it's still a illegal crime. I think that should satisfy most of the people on the side. Now, of course, a lot of us are going to get into these social issues like abortion and civil rights. Roe versus Wade is a controversial decision, and a lot of conservatives who are pro-choice and pro-life based are the ones that are going to be dividing into who's going to be the president. Pro-life people are very controversial. Pro-choice are very controversial. I can't debate on the issue because I'm a pro-life person. But the thing is that in my social liberalism, there are some things that I tend to say on conservative. The Supreme Court is the law of the land. You cannot debate it. Once it's done, it's over. These cases can take up to 10 years to make it to their justices. And 90% of the time, most decisions are made only by a look at it. They look at the Constitution, and then they interpret what it is. So therefore, suit us, screwed us. Basically, that's what I agree on. So, remind yourself, there's 4 conservative justices, 4 liberal justices, and 1 moderate. Whatever Justice Anthony Kennedy says is what's going to happen. That's it.